I'm Jimmy Bergen, the coordinator of special events at St. John's Episcopal Church in Williamstown, Massachusetts. Welcome to the 17th season of our annual summer noontime concert series. This year is of course different as we cannot have a live audience, but thanks to technology and to our videographer Tucker Bear, we are able to present concerts recorded in our beautiful space. St. John's is especially grateful for support for this series from the Cultural Council of Northern Berkshire, a local agency supported by the Massachusetts Cultural Council, a state agency.
Hi, I'm Mercer. This concert is titled Elegies and Last Songs. The idea for the concert sort of came out of the feelings that I'm having in our times as a musician. I haven't, unfortunately, been practicing as much as I should have been during the quarantine, and it was a really, really emotional and difficult thing for me to begin practicing again. So I created this concert around the idea of elegies and eulogies to commemorate this feeling of loss that many of us feel now, but maybe can't pinpoint precisely. And I've included one of my favorite poems called the First Duino Elegy from Rilke, and I'll read it for you. Who, if I cried out, would hear me among the angels' orders? And even if one of them pressed me suddenly to his heart, I'd be consumed in his more potent being. For beauty is nothing but the beginning of terror, which we can still barely endure, and while we stand in wonder, it coolly disdains to destroy us. Every angel is terrifying, and so I grip myself and choke down that call note of dark sobbing. Ah, whom can we turn to in our need? Not angels, not humans. And the sly animals see at once how little at home we are in the interpreted world. That leaves us some tree on a slope to which our eyes returned day after day, leaves us yesterday's street and the coddled loyalty of an old habit that liked it here, lingered, and never left. Oh, and the night, when the wind full of world space gnaws at our faces. For whom won't the night be there, desired, softly disappointing, setting hard tasks for the single heart? It is easier on lovers? Ah, they only use each other to mask their fates. You still don't see? Fling the emptiness in your arms out into the spaces we breathe. Perhaps the birds will feel the increase of air with more passionate flight. The springs needed you. Many a star was waiting for your eyes only. A wave swelled toward you out of the past, or as you walked by the open window, a violin inside surrendered itself to pure passion. All that was your charge. But were you strong enough? Weren't you always distracted by expectation, as though each such moment presaged a beloved's coming? But where would you keep her, with all those big, strange thoughts in you, going and coming and sometimes staying all night? No, in the grip of longing sing women who loved. Their prodigious feeling still lacks an undying fame. The abandoned ones you almost envy, since you found them so much deeper in love than those whom love allayed. Begin ever anew their impossible praise. Remember, the hero lives on. Even his downfall was only a pretext for attained existence, his ultimate birth. But nature, exhausted, takes women in love back into herself, as though she lacked strength to create them a second time. Have you praised Gaspara Stampa intently enough that any girl left by her lover will be moved by this heightened instance of a woman's heart to cry out, "Let me be as she was"? Isn't it time these most ancient sorrows at last bore fruit? Time we tenderly detached ourselves from the loved one and trembling stood free. The way the arrow, suddenly all vector, survives the string to be more than itself, for abiding is nowhere. Voices, voices, listen, my heart, the way only saints have listened till now, as that vast call lifted them from the ground, while they kept on kneeling and noticed nothing, those impossible ones, listeners fully absorbed. Not that you could bear God's voice, not at all, but listen to the wind's breathing, the unbroken news that takes shape out of silence. It's rustling toward you now from all the youthful dead. When you entered a church in Rome or Naples, didn't their fate speak quietly to you? Or an inscription echoed deep within you, as, not long ago, that tablet in Santa Maria Formosa, their charge to me, that I gently dispel the air of injustice that sometimes hinders a little their spirit's pure movement. Granted, it's strange to dwell on earth no more, to cease observing customs barely learned, not to give roses and other things of such promise a meaning in some human future, to stop being what one was in endlessly anxious hands, and ignore even one's own name like a broken toy. Strange not to go on wishing one's wishes. Strange to see all that was once so interconnected, drifting into space. And death exacts a labor, a long finishing of things half done before one has the feeling of eternity. But the living all make the same mistake. They distinguish too sharply. Angels, it's said, often don't know whether they're moving among the living or the dead. The eternal current sweeps all the ages with it through both kingdoms forever and drowns their voices in both. In the end, those torn from us early no longer need us. Slowly one becomes unaccustomed to earthly things in the gentle way one leaves a mother's breast. But we, who need such great mysteries, for whom so often blessed progress springs from grief, could we exist without them? Is it a tale told in vain, that myth of lament for Linos, in which a daring first music pierced the shell of numbness, stunned space, which in almost divine youth had suddenly left forever? Then, in that void, vibrations which for us now are rapture and solace and help.